I know, and I'm talking from real world experience, how frustrating it is to be in a job that is not fulfilling to you. You do not feel like people appreciate you. You do not feel like you're using your gifts to the fullest. It just is something that you started that you're not interested anymore. You actually like your job, but you have a horrible boss. You actually like your boss, but you work with a horrible team. I mean, there's literally no shortage of reasons why the time that we spend, and I mean, I'm telling you, this weighs on me very heavily. The time that you spend in this job, 40 hours a week or more, that you're with people who are not your family, they're not your friends, but you spend more time with them, than your own children. And you're basically sitting there fuming and hating life the entire time, but you're just like, how do I get through this? How do I get through this? How do I get through this? And one of the things that is like especially hard is that when you are the kind of person who is like really productive and very organized and like really enthusiastic about just getting things done, is that I think this is true whether you are in a small company or a big company, is that you are basically in this, oh my gosh, I'm seeing a lot of like yes, 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 like I'm nodding my head right now. You're like one little person inside this huge operation, and it's like having like no wiggle room because you just don't have very much control over what happens to you day to day. But the most infuriating thing about that is that you feel like you could actually be contributing a lot more than you are probably to that company, but either you're not being asked your opinion, you're not being valued for your expertise, or people don't see you that way, even though you know that you are that way. Like, you know that you are the kind of person who could be running circles around all of your coworkers, except for, it's not your job, so you can't do those things. So, Marissa, I work in a small company, and it is favoritism that gets the position, not qualifications. Ugh, that is horrible. I'm naturally really introverted, so it infuriates me when I'm just as qualified as someone else, if not more, but get passed over since I'm not the person that makes the decisions, buddy. Oh my gosh, that is the best comment. Okay, I work in a small company. It's favoritism that gets the position, not qualifications. So you walk away from this job, I'm guessing, on a regular basis, and I'm going to assume that you very much, while you're not bringing maybe your work home with you, that you are bringing this situation home with you. Like, it is taking up space in your brain. You're sitting there fuming about it until you have like calmed down after a few hours. You're at home, you're back in your space, you're doing like, and I get that, like the introvert, like recharging thing, that has to happen. So after you can kind of calm down, and then like you're sleeping, and then you wake up again and you do the whole thing the next day. One of the things that has been very effective for me is that I realize I'm very much a fumer too. I will ruminate on a situation until forever. I mean, I am really like that. I hate that. I hate any time where someone misperceived me, and I mean, I can't, like, it's really, really hard for me to let it go. Basically, I just don't process things like super quickly. It's almost like I have a delayed reaction, like something will happen, I'm like super calm, and then later I get mad about it, and then I stay mad about it for really no reason. And so the thing that I realized I had to get good at, if I was also going to be, and so I'm working like this day job, and I'm also side hustling my ass off doing the organizing jobs, which is essentially what my life was like all through 2016. So, and through most of 2015 and some of 2016, I was working as much as possible on the side in addition to day job. So, one of the things I realized I had to get really, really good at was not that because there's just no way that somebody could say like, oh, just don't let that bother you. And it's like, no, this is going to bother me. And I think that that's kind of like where most of you guys probably are at too, because a lot of us have like that, obviously an awesome work ethic. And so anytime you feel like somebody didn't think you did a good job, you feel like you're justifying yourself and you're defending yourself, and you want to be able to speak up for yourself better, but you don't really know how to. And the thing that I realized is that I just have to get really good at that recovery period. Like, if you can bring that recovery period down from like 3 hours to just an hour, and then maybe you get better at it, and you're just like, okay, I just need 20 minutes to cool off and just like shake it off, like shake it off. Oh, that's why she wrote that song. As soon as you leave the building of your work day, that you are letting it all melt off of you. Or if you get really good at it, maybe you do like kind of let go before you even leave for the day. Like when these like little things happen, like these little things that tend to like really just burn you and like sit with you for so long. Because the thing, and the reason why this is so important, and we're talking about your mental state and your psychological state, is that this very much 100% affects the energy that you're going to be able to have when you come home, and it's not just for your spouse or your kids or your roommates or whoever you live with, your fiance. So when you come home at the end of the day, this is your like golden hour. And unfortunately, it's at the end of the day after you have already had all these other 100 responsibilities. When you get to your golden hour, are you excited and ready to work on your website, or ready to, you know, do that work for that client that you do have, that you only see once a month, but like, hey, that's $400 or $500 more a month that you didn't have before? It's like, are you excited to do that? Or are you so drained and so like, I mean, honestly, are you just mad? Like, are you just so mad and like so drained by the whole thing that you're just like, I'm so tired and all I want to do is drink my wine and go to bed? I mean, because I am saying this, I'm talking about myself. This is how I have been in the past. So techniques for bringing that recovery period down so that you are sort of able to, you know, get to like, I mean, because here's what's happening. You have that time at the end of the day that is still 100% yours. So this time that's at the end of the day for you to work on your business, or for you to just spend on like regular self-care, like maybe you work out at night, or maybe you like to have your quality time with your husband at night, or your kids, obviously, I mean, all this stuff. Or like have time to, you know, date and do the things that you do when you're 20 years old. I mean, I'm really talking to like women in every stage of the game, right? So what's happening is when you leave this day job and you're still pissed off about the things that happen, and you just have like this long-term, like chronic, like reaction to the people that you work with and the place where you are, what happens is it not just makes you mad for 8 hours a day, it steals away your time at the end of the day. And that time is where your money is, as far as, I'm talking about not just money in the money sense, but I'm talking about money as in like, this is the thing that is so important, you know, to your life. Like, if you ever want to be able to make a change, you actually have to invest your free time, invest your extra time, and funnel it towards the change that you want to make. And that is difficult. Like, nobody ever said like this side hustling thing was easy. I mean, I will say the only time it's easy is when you're in a job that you do like, and it's maybe somehow related to this organizing career that you know that you want to have, and you're like not really in a big hurry to like go and make, you know, a full-time or even a part-time income from it. You're just like, hey, I'll just see how it goes. Like, that would be a great situation to be in, but I recognize that not everybody's in that situation. So when you're side hustling because you want to one day have the option of leaving your current job in order to do this on a, you know, more full-time basis or more regular time basis, you are going to have to invest those hours that were previously taken up by whatever it is you were doing before. That could be like TV time, random Facebook surfing time. Like, I don't judge on those things, like completely not at all. But if your time is being stolen by your negative energy that you are, you know, basically giving away to these people at your job who essentially don't mean anything in the long run, that is what we're trying to talk about. So here's something that I do. When I come home at the end of my day, obviously I'm like, okay, I'm just throwing my stuff everywhere. But I sit, and every time, and I sit kind of for a second to kind of be like, just thank God I'm home, because I'm such a homebody. I love it. I'm very happy here. So what happens is I come home and I'm thinking about the things that I want to do, that I need to do. But what'll happen is that these thoughts from my day and these things that happen and these people that annoy the crap out of me keep coming up in my brain. And I feel like it's almost like I see it in my head, and I'm going like totally woo-woo energy on you guys, but it is so true. It's like I see it in my head, and it's like it grows and it grows and it grows, and it just feels like when I say like it kind of burns, it's like it's just this huge like inflammation. It's not, I mean, it's nasty, it's horrible. And so I keep, you know, I try to kind of center myself at least once when I get home, but what'll happen is over the course of the night, I'm still burning up about it. So what I keep having to do is I keep having to bring it back down, and this is what helped me decrease that recovery time, at least on a daily basis. I mean, I still have to do this on a daily basis, but when that recovery, like when it used to take up my entire evening, because I just can't stop replaying all the things that made me mad, you know, now it's like I keep, like I visualize this. I visualize this big, I mean, I do visualize it as like the building that I'm working in, okay? I like every time it kind of keeps coming back up, I'm just like, okay, I visualize it shrinking, and I put it in a box and I tie it like a present. Okay, like 4 ways. Okay, tie it like a present, and then in my mind, I put it up on like a super high shelf, like all the way in the back where you would never find it. And I just say, I'm leaving that there until tomorrow, because now is not, there is literally nothing that I can do about this, and I will not let this steal my time away. And I have had to do that. Like, I do that technique. I mean, I did that a lot until it just became so much easier for me to just say, let it go, let it go. Like, this is actually like, it's just one of these mental processes for letting it go. So this is my technique. Obviously, there's a lot of other ways to de-stress, like in a normal way at the end of your day, like such as your favorite self-care methods. Like, I've gotten really into baths in 2017. I was never much of a bath taker, but for some reason this year, it wasn't like a New Year's resolution. I just decided I was gonna like have more of these like long bath moments at the end of my day, and I've really enjoyed that, and now I'm kind of like addicted to it. But that's like, and I do think those things are important, but there is something to be said for actually dealing with like the mental process and pulling your energy, like your energy that you have to give to so many other things. You have to pull it back from these situations that, I mean, in the end, and I know I just only read Marissa's question, I didn't read you guys' other questions. But with Marissa and what you're saying, I completely understand. Like, you can't stand, it is unfair. There is nothing fair about the fact that the favorites get the jobs, and the more qualified people who don't stand out as much, because, you know, extroverts do get a lot more attention, obviously, in the workplace and in life. It's not fair. Like, nobody's saying it's not fair, but the thing is like, I realize that I as a person cannot change the way that these things are, and so what would help me most is to actually redirect my energy. And another thing that I like to think of is like, okay, it's kind of like when you have road rage a little bit, and you are just watching all these people using the turning lane like a real lane, and you're just like, it's not a freaking lane, and it makes you so angry, right? But I sit there and I'm sitting in traffic, and I'm like, I could do that too, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to stay in my lane, and I'm going to wait my turn to get up to the traffic light. That, I'm like 1000%, like, these are real world examples for me, like every day. In my mind, the most important thing for me when like I'm going about my day in my workplace is that I am keeping to myself. Like, and I don't mean that I'm not friends with people, but I'm like staying in my own business. I literally, like, I will try to be a very friendly person. I will listen to people's stories, even when I didn't ask. Like, I will answer people's questions, of course, like be that friendly, helpful person that I am. But I've gotten really good at not going above and beyond in situations that don't really call for it. Like, and there are certain personality types, I'm really into personality types. There are certain personality types that are really good at this, and there are some that are really bad at this. Like, and when I say bad, it's because you insist on being the most helpful person in any situation, and you just give and give and give and give. And I have heard from some of you in the comments, in my emails and stuff, it's like, the reason why they want to start this kind of business is because they're like, I feel like the mother and traffic controller to every single person in my workplace all day long, and I am so tired of it. Like, I just want to have my own thing. I know that I'm good at organizing, but I'm so tired of doing it for 50 people on a daily basis. Like, can I just have my own business, have my flexible hours, and just work like with the people who really need me, really value me, and obviously will pay me, you know, good money for doing that. Okay, and one of the things that maybe you guys expect me to say this and I didn't say it yet is one of the ways to channel your rage at being in your day job, even when you need the day job and you recognize, like, I'm not leaving the day job anytime soon. Just one of the ways that you can feel sort of satisfied, and Emily mentioned this today or yesterday, that even just like having this thing, like this side project that you're working on, and having people who are doing it along with you, like this group, makes you feel just that little bit calmer. That what she says, she doesn't feel like she's going to smack somebody. I love it. Adria says, praying for the irritating people works. True story. Yes, if that is one of your go-to methods, I think that is wonderful. And I do think that definitely that is something that brings these people down to like a manageable level, because it's like, okay, they're on my prayer list at least. Like, they don't have to dominate my entire brain. I mean, I completely understand both the religious side of that and also the practical side of that. Okay, Jay says, watching Tony Robbins today on Dr. Oz, he says, stressful thoughts are fears and cause your immune system to lower for 6 hours. Counteract with gratitude. You cannot be sad and grateful at the same time. That is very insightful. That is very insightful. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, Jay, that was such a good point too. She said, some people in our lives are PETs, pets, personal emotional trainers. Completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. You have to get stronger. You have to get stronger by just like letting go. Isn't it funny how they say one of your biggest strengths is how easily you let things go, even though it doesn't feel like a physical strength, it's like a mental strength. It's just serenity now. I accept the things I cannot change,